Here. 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 Last Hartley. Here. Carly Cola. Aaron Ronald. Here. Francisco Becerra. Here. Lizette Diaz.
Here.
Woody Karate. R. Franklin.
Here.
Donna Ortiz.
Here. Here. Here.
Christina Rodriguez. Here. Rachel Alico. Here. Katie E. Johnson. Here. Sabina Shapiro.
Here.
Elizabeth Castillo. Basil Corey.
Here.
Dana Patangi.
Here.
Benju Kim. Here. Zeta Vaughn.
Here.
Dan Helvig.
Here.
Erica Yu. Here.
Here.
William Simpson.
Here.
Nina Lynn.
Here.
Nico Cruz.
Here.
Ricardo Miranda.
Here.
Shubham Patra.
Here.
Leonel Benani. William Yee.
Here.
Thank you, Claire. Now, moving on to public comment. You have 3 minutes. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak during this time? You will each have 3 minutes, total of 60 minutes. Okay, Ricardo Miranda, and then. Okay, you might yell your name in the back, so I can write you down. Okay, Andrew. Anyone else who in the public wants to speak? You just yell your name. Jewel. Jewel?
You good?
One more time, sir.
You good?
Ethan, perfect, thank you.
Serena.
Serena,
Lauren.
Lauren,
Michaela.
Michaela,
Nathan.
Nathan. Any other members of the public who wish to speak, or city senators? You got it, okay. Perfect, Ricardo Miranda, you're up. You can speak at your seat or go to the mic. 3 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to acknowledge that this past Monday, October 13th, was Indigenous Peoples' Day. And so just in honor of that day, I'm gonna read a land acknowledgement. So we at UC San Diego would like to respectfully acknowledge and recognize our responsibility to the original and current caretakers of this land, water, and air. The Kumeyaay peoples and all of their ancestors and descendants, past, present, and future. Today, this meeting place is home to many Indigenous people from all over the world, including UCSD faculty, students, and staff. And we are grateful to have the opportunity to live and work on these homelands. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo. Andrew, you're up. You can head to the podium and then the microphone should be already on for you.
Right, hello everyone, my name is Andrew, I'm here on behalf of the Video Game Development Club. I just want to first and foremost say that we wholeheartedly support the new funding changes and the funding guide. We are one of the fastest growing clubs in these recent years. Like 2 years ago, we had an average attendance of about 30 people, and now we've blown up to about 300. And like honestly, the volume changes, especially, I like to note that the removing of the cap of the food budget helped us massively in growing as a club. I mean, even last year we won Student Award of the Year. And for like now one of this year, like I am a new treasurer. I'm also the new events director. So dealing with the funding guide and the new, like just the new system, having the updated schedule, all these new systems have made like this whole process much easier. Like if you're new and you have no idea beforehand what the club process is like, this is an incredibly challenging and scary role. So like all these changes that Chris is proposing and like the whole office itself has been incredibly beneficial. It also made this year all hectic beginning much easier for us as a whole. But I mean, I guess my final thoughts are just I hope you guys are able to keep making these great changes for the club. I'm surprised the funding didn't get immediately cut. That was incredibly like relieving for me. Because as a newly big club, it's really hard for us to adapt. And also the new max funding appeals are a very, very crucial thing that we need to start doing almost every quarter. Or maybe even twice a year at the very minimum, but yeah, I just wanna say I support this law and thank you for listening.
Julie, you're up next.
Hello, my name is Jules Todd, and I'm the current Vice President External and Gaming. We are one of the largest collegiate gaming organizations in the nation, specializing in event planning to help bring gaming together. Every year, we hold Try Game Fest, a large-scale student-run gaming convention, voice actors, industry panels, and RSLA tournaments, and many others. I'm here in front of Senate on behalf of our organization to express support for new changes in funding guidance this year. Changes such as the removal of performance review maximums, as well as an open to the public field with us for the grow our bets. Not only by allowing us to secure more start talent, but also by allowing us to reach further to the level standard. One of the most people moments in my own adulthood was being able to attend training days. The event where I was able to add as a prospective student, was able to attend and was able to meet training officers, which eventually convinced me to choose UC San Diego as college. Being able to host more focused opportunities for the prospective students, the university on campus, especially with something as big as gaming. Medicine, law, whatever else you can imagine, multiple programs on campus. Moreover, the other changes proposed, such as the removal of food maximums, as well as other quality of life changes, serve to make it easier for student organizations to put on more events as a student. Student organizations are to be part of this line, and these changes will allow us to better serve and to allow us to better the impact we have on the students of student learning. Please consider sharing our sentiment and improving the new funding guide in order to build a better future for student boards in San Diego. Thank you.
Thank you, Jewel. Ethan, you're up next.
Well, my name is Ethan. I'm the treasurer at UCSD Kendo. So our student already is about promoting and practicing the Japanese martial art of Kendo. We hold practices on campus, create socials for our members, participate in various competitions throughout the year. Most notably, UEI, which is the biggest intercollegiate competition on the West Coast, held annually at UCLA, and Shoryuhan, the biggest collegiate Kendo tournament in the US. We're here today in front of Senate to vocalize our support for the proposed 2025-2026 Office of Student Organizations funding guide. The proposed changes within this new funding guide would positively impact us by helping us in planning our own tournament, which is later this quarter, which will be a smaller scale competition where we can enjoy friendly competition through Kendo practitioners here at UCSD. Kendo has a really big community in the US, and by maintaining the $3,000 tournament fund cap, we would be able to further the pursuit of Kendo practitioners here at UCSD and in the US by being able to pay for registration and transportation fees for our own members, giving them the ability to send our own Kendoka to these large scale tournaments. Yeah.
Thank you, Ethan. Serena, you're up next.
Hello, I'm Serena. I'm part of the ACM Hackathon team, and we're the largest computer science organization on campus. On behalf of ACM at UCSD, we're in support of the 2025 to 2026 funding guide, especially the updates to the funding maximum appeal and the attendance appeal policies. These changes will make a real difference for Diamondbacks, ACM's annual hackathon that brings together more than 300 students from UC San Diego and other universities to learn, build, and create together. The event is a major collaboration between student organizations across campus, including various tech and design clubs, giving students a space to explore new ideas with mentors. Opening events like ours to the public and allowing for additional funding flexibility would help us invite more funding or more sponsors, alumni, and industry mentors. And AS-funded Diamondbacks will not only highlight UCSD's academic excellence, but also attract outside attention and resources that can generate more financial support for associated students. Thank you.
Thank you, Serena. Lauren, you're up next.
Hi, my name is Lauren, and I'm here on behalf of the Model United Nations and UC San Diego as its vice president.
As a student organization, we simulate the diplomacy and negotiation found at the United Nations. We hold conferences for both high school and collegiate competitors from around the country and even internationally. But we also improve our own skills in collegiate competitions across North America. This fall, our proud team of 63 staffers is hard at work preparing for a conference for over 250 students from around California and even international delegations. Additionally, while we host 3 fantastic large-scale conferences per year, we also completed 5 to 6 competitions at universities throughout the US and Canada, and we have even been ranked number 25 across the North American circuit among the likes of Berkeley, Georgetown, and Harvard. Much of this has been possible because we have been beneficiaries of the AS Tournament and Competition Fund. When we compete, in the event of us winning awards, we enhance the reputation of UC San Diego as a college not only known for its computer science and engineering prowess, but as a well-rounded institution of many disciplines. Although we are thought of as a pre-law organization, we serve a diversity of members from different academic backgrounds, from yes, political science, but also majors like math, CS, neurobiology, and public health. So that's why I'm here to you today in support of the 2025 to 2026 Office of Student Org Funding Guide, as it enables our organization to uplift members in the pursuit of self-development, community building, and professional development. And because of the support from AS, it's only because of our members and this collaboration in which we are able to support ourselves and take these skills into future careers and educational pursuits. Thank you for your time, and I hope you support the new funding guide as set forth by the AVP of Student Orgs. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Michaela, you're up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michaela Wu, and I'm the president of Keyboard Club at UC San Diego. Our student organization hosts quarterly events where attendees can showcase their keyboards, purchase merchandise, and connect with others in the hobby. Our largest meet in 2024 welcomed over 1,000 attendees. In addition to our large-scale events, we host smaller socials throughout the quarter and organize an annual workshop where participants learn to build their own keyboards from scratch over the course of the quarter. I'm here today in front of the Senate to voice our club's support for the proposed funding guide. The new funding guide would positively impact us by allowing AS funding for events open to non-UCSD affiliates who often bring in some of the most innovative and interesting keyboards to showcase. It would also make the funding appeal process more accessible to clubs like ours. In the past, we've had to appeal our funding limit due to the scale of our events, and the new maximum would make that process fairer and easier to navigate. These updates would strengthen our community by connecting experienced hobbyists with UCSD students, fostering collaboration, and exposing students to new creative possibilities within the hobby. Allowing AS funding for these inclusive events would enhance our community and make our gatherings more enjoyable for everyone. We hope you'll consider our support and approve the new funding guide to help build a stronger future for student orgs at UCSD. Thank you.
Thank you, Michaela. Last, we have Nathan.
Hi, I'm Nathan Pagio, and I am the production manager at the DJs and Vinyl Halls Club at UCSD. So we've been here for a long time, being established in 1997 and contributing to the UCSD community since then, where we've provided music to UCSD at staple events like Meet the Beach and other Welcome Week events, playing for all sorts of departments at UCSD, from the colleges to recreation, university centers, etc. So we teach people how to DJ and work with industry standard equipment, helping music lovers and aspiring DJs get involved with music in all sorts of ways, even if they aren't music majors or have much of a musical background. We also throw events of our own at places like Sunbelt Lawn and Price Fair Ballrooms. If you've heard loud music around campus, that was probably us. So we provide programming with stage productions and quality similar to other live events in the EDM industry, and we couldn't have held these events without AS funding. So I'm here to support, or here to show DUC support for this proposed funding guide. So with these new changes from the funding guide, DVC and other student orgs can hold massive events on campus without having to hold back with our budgets or make sacrifices to our events, or even worse, cancel them altogether. In DVC's case, within the last few years, we've had to hold less events or move off campus, making major cuts to our events, or work with off-campus partners like Insomniac Nightlife. But for UCSD students, making a trip down to downtown on weekday can be a bit of a hassle. So these changes help provide more event opportunities for UCSD students. helping our club grow, having fun, and helping create fun memories. The proposed funding guide is a step in the right direction, helping us make student life thrive with our events. And I hope you all consider approving this. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. That ends our speakers list for members of the public. Thank you all for coming to give public input. Next, we are moving on to the adoption of the order of business. Is there a motion to approve today's order of business?
May I motion to make an amendment? I motion to make,
Go ahead.
amendment, to table, the homebound assistance, presentation and action item.
Okay, so that needs to be approved by 2/3 of the members, so I'm gonna need to do a roll call vote to table the presentation for the homebound assistance program. Did I get a roll call?
What information do I have am I able to kind of like explain why?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so, I'm tabling this because, I think there were some changes. Is Kelly in the room? I think Kelly, came to us like, saying that there were a couple of changes with funding and how we can use funds from SLBO. So we just need to talk to them before we, present this item. So we're probably gonna be tabling and then bring it back up next week, so. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll actually just do a placard vote, so please raise your placard if you approve of this change. I think with overwhelming majority, it's taken off the agenda, but can that please be reflected? Okay, so special presentation is on. Is the order, oh, go ahead, Shu.
I would like to add a special presentation about the AS funding guide.
Okay,
Second.
then this one is the 2/3 as well. Do you want to provide any more context?
So, it's basically we have that in the action item, but I want to get it in the special presentation, so you have more time to speak about it and it will be presented by AVP or student house. And I just like wanted to give a quick note like regarding the updated funding guide. So a lot of like work has gone into like cleaning up redundant sections and also like clarifying field processes and also improving accountability measures. So with that, like, I wanted to be in the special presentation.
Okay, sounds good. We can move it up to special presentations. Please raise your placard if you approve the notice up to special presentations. Okay, great. Okay, so the floor, would you please move the presentation for the funding guide up to special presentations? Thank you. Okay, with that, is there a motion to adopt the order of business? Okay, Ricardo, I see. Is there a second? You can raise your placard. William, present citizen, thank you. With that, the order of business is adopted. We're gonna be moving on to special presentations. You will have 15 minutes for your presentation, followed by a 5-minute Q&A. I'm gonna give the clerk a little bit of time to move that up before we proceed. And then Shuo, you said that, AVP student or is going to be speaking?
Yes.
Okay, so that's.
Point of information,
Yeah, go
is
ahead.
this being moved or is this just an extra item being added?
It's just an extra item being added, so,
Oh, sorry, yeah.
it's being added as a special presentation.
Thank you, Senator, Courtney. Yeah. Shuo or AVP student or CFO Parker or AVP student or could you please send the presentation to Andres? You have it right.
Is it the latest one? Okay, it's good. The second.
You're done. Okay, if everyone wants to refresh their onboard, the link is there, and then AVP assistant wants to be recognized for 15 minutes to present.
Good evening, everyone. We'll end the first thing, Sam Patra for giving me time to speak today. But the new funding guide, as you was for the 2025-2026 year. I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible, 10 minutes or less, I hope. So if you want to go to the next slide, I'm gonna jump into it. Okay, so really quickly, I know there are some new people to the association, so I want to go really quickly over what we do as an office. The Office of Student Orgs does fund student org events. And it's fund student org competition fund, that is very limited. What you can see up here, we fund document student org events with programming funds. These are the list of programming funds we fund. We don't fund stuff like merchandise, we don't fund stuff like if they request clothing and stuff like that. We are a very limited amount of funds that they can tap into. Tournaments are about the same. You have about up to $3,000 with tournament funds as a single organization. That's to be well documented. And we also have operating costs, which is a cost that helps newer student orgs get stuff like, for their tabling, like a table banner that they can use to promote their student organization. It's stuff to get started. I know very big misconception is we fund anything. We do not fund all of these. So no merchandise, no decor, no permanent items, and nothing about sufficient documentation. And we limit everything to $10 per undergraduate attendee for programming funds. Next slide. And then on top of this, how do we evaluate and enforce funding? Events are funded $10 per UCSD attendee. We also limit our way we do funding. We do $8,000 for student org when it comes to programming funds. The other cap is that student org wants to hold a large event, you have to cap at $5,000. This is a cap that student orgs get for the full year. Many people do not get this cap, certain larger student orgs do. But on top of that, we put in a attendance policy. So every student org and every person who's attending student org event, as many of you may know, if you attend a student org event, you have to fill out an AS form. That tracks attendance and you get it directly to our office. Thank you very much for student orgs to hit 10,000 attendance at the beginning of the week parade. This attendance can actually get so you no longer can get funding for the rest of the year. We are very strict with this. On top of this, we also offer a post-eval form for student organizations. It's an expectation to fill this out. This is how we track and enforce everything. I will say that we're very, very strict with our policies. We understand that as anything else at UC San Diego, budget is limited, and so we try to do our due diligence, making sure that students that get this money are using it to impact our students in a very fair and equitable way. Next slide. And so before we jump into the new funding guide, I know some people may not be familiar with the previous one. I'm going to go over all of these. As you can see, we've had a lot of funding caps throughout this last year. We have a logistics requirement of filing 6 weeks in advance. We have a maximum appeal process. If you were a senator last year in finance committee, you may recall these meetings being weekly, after weeks, after weeks, after weeks of listening to these appeals from student organizations. We have marketing requirements, so every single funded student org event needs to have an AS logo on their marketing materials to show that it's been sponsored by the Office of Student Orgs. We have an interest-free programming loan, we'll talk a little bit more about that, and we have attendance restrictions. So we fund $10 per student attendee that needs to be reflected in whether we do a physical audit or we do an audit throughout the form. If that does not reflect, they are eligible to be suspended for funding. And the next slide. And so we're going to go with proposed changes for the funding guide. I'm going to go try to be as quick as I can as well. So we're removing redundancy. We're keeping the $8,000 programming cut as it has been successful in the past, but this has been something, this neat change has been supported by the previous Associate Vice President of Student Organizations. The $4,000 food funding cap and the $2.5K performance agreement cap, we're removing not for the sake of us wanting to have organizations increase spending in this category. It's actually that our office data suggested that this didn't limit funding at all last year. And so it's kind of a redundant cap. As long as we keep the $8,000 cap, we do have a good hold on our budget. So we've tried to remove red tape for student organizations. We had a removal of the interest-free programming loan. It has not been used in over 2+ years, and it takes up 10 pages of the funding guide, so it's no longer there. And then AS funded events with logo changes. So printed material must have all on that. Some of our largest student orgs, they post 30 times for one event. we're just gonna require them to do it for half of their posts. I know this seems like a really small change, but larger student organizations are very receptive to this and they very much appreciate this. Next slide. And then quality of life changes. So we're now allowing them to apply 5 weeks in advance. 1 week does make a big difference. Sufficient marketing. And so actually, instead of just punishing, so previously in the year, if your organization does not market an event well enough, you actually can suspend your funding for that event or for the quarter. I think that is a little unfair sometimes, as some student marketing organizations aren't the best at marketing their events. So we're actually gonna be using our Instagram finally to help promote, post and advertise events that are attended. Organizations with over 200 attendees can now be notified of non-form options. If your attendance is over 200 attendees, you can choose to not use the form in a different option. Proposed feature, and we will go into this very shortly, but we're gonna talk about revamped maximum appeals and a new appeal that would allow a larger student organization to go to the public. Next slide. Maximum appeal change. So how it works right now is they submit a presentation and then they go to finance committee, they're given 5 minutes to present. Last year this was too stressful for student organizations and way too time consuming for Senate. So what we're gonna do now is student organizations are gonna submit a presentation to them week 4. Other student organizations will assess the submissions, put them in a digestible format, and then we will go to finance committee for the week 5 or 6. We will then present at the finance committee as a complete digestible format, go over these things. Finance committee will vote as they want on this. If it's not a unanimous vote of support for this, we will then ask organizations to show up the following week, not to present, but to answer any questions Senate or the senators and finance committee have. This way, we can be very fair and equitable with the way we're funding and ensure that senators' times are being used in an important fashion. So, open to public policy appeals. We'll be covering this next. So open to public policy appeal. This is a strict guideline appeal to ensure that we are putting UC San Diego for students first. We require for these open and public appeals that have been proposed that we have a detailed fire safety plan. You have an expected attendee amount of over 350 UCSD undergraduates. You cannot accommodate public in this attendance account. Non-UCSD affiliates must pay $5 for entry. This is then given back to the Association of Students. Meaning we would generate revenue off of these events that are open to the public. This has been approved by SLBO and this has been proposed in the past. SLBO has approved it for this year. There's no risk to public safety and detailed explanation of why this should be open to the public, and then ASM will be given a estimation. Meaning you cannot request as much money as you want because you have all these public attendees. You have to request off the UCSD students who are serving. So for the way we do our normal estimation, if let's say you're expecting 300 UCSD students, we can only grant you up to $3,000 for that event. Even if you have a big pool of non-public people, we will not be funding you for that. This is to help, obviously, help our student organizations who are larger grow, but also put more money in our pockets, as we do need support throughout this year, so we can continue to help support other parts of the association and student organizations. Next slide. And then why is this important? The next slide again, sorry. I want to say that this is important because we're resetting the new. As many of you who are familiar with the association may know, 2 years ago, funding guide was introduced that caught boards off guard and had the interrelationship between AS and student organizations. In comparison, this guide is built directly off of board input, and our office communicated these changes way before we finalized this guide. This is the first step of many to building a future where AS and student organizations work closer together. I understand that this funding guide is just the first step. I personally think that this is maybe giving a little bit more leeway to student organizations, but it also builds a better future with us. But it also is a promise that from our office, we are going to continue to be as strict as possible on these attendance verifications. To say that I'm saying this to Senate, I am now allowing in this funding guide, senators can directly audit student work events and blame our office if our funds are misallocated. I want to be as transparent as possible because it is important we fund student work, but it's important that we be equitable and fair when we give that money out. And it doesn't stop here. We do plan on continuing to do the work, try to limit funding where we can, try to remove costs. But I think that's done by working with student coordinators, not working against them. In the next slide. And I did want to say this, as I do have some time. To show this, I want to highlight organizations that have either spoke today or have provided us, our office, with a statement about supporting the fund. Not all these organizations can make it in person, but there's some statements that have been written to our office on social. Organizations like IEEE wrote a statement about how these changes can impact their events as they are the largest engineering presence on the campus. The Muslim Student Association wrote how these impacts would benefit initiatives like the Ramadan events. Montreal wrote to our office, committed to student organizations to empower our students' career choices here at UCSD while representing our students at tournaments are very important. I would be actually amiss to not acknowledge that actually the same organizations that protested the funding guide 2 years ago are here today to support the new funding guide. To see our student organizations be so vocal with AS, not to protest or challenge, but instead declare their support and commitment to a better collaborative future, despite the previous hurdles of false problems and surprise changes, I think that alone is very compelling and what the next steps of the association should be. Because the funding guide isn't just a set of rules, it's a message of a relationship between the association and where the board stands. To have this chance to reset the narrative.
Well, 5 minutes.
Yeah, so to have a chance to reset the narrative, and start building a better future, address the crisis of what the student boards may have in us. This is what the funding guide can do. And I would argue that now is a better time than any to do this. As many of you may know, this is a very difficult time, a difficult year for UCSD student leadership. If we are going to try to tackle this year, address the problems that face us this year, I think we should do it as a united front. Whether you're a member of the association or a leader of a student organization, we have tens of thousands of students relying on all of us. And I think in order to best serve those students, to come together and figure out how we can work through this year and make this year as best as possible, we should think about doing that together. And that's why I am presenting, but I hope you do support the changes to the new funding guide, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, EVP Crimes. I'm opening up the floor for 5 minutes of Q&A. You can raise your placard or hand, yeah. Go ahead, President Smith, you're recognized.
Maybe I'm just not noticing this, but where is the funding guide for us, okay,
Should be in the action items.
because right now in the action items, it's just showing the, it should show it.
It is in some.
Okay, thank you very
But
much.
it shows a meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Go ahead, Senator Krabs.
Hi there, thank you for that presentation. I just have one question. I think I'm still a little confused on the food funding removal. That just means that there's no more cap on food funding, or is it more absorbed into the programming fund?
Yeah, so food funding is funded for our programming fund, it always has been, but last year, the previous administration of the Office of Student Organizations decided that we should try to specifically limit the amount of food you can request throughout the year. This was an idea that we proposed as an office to maybe reduce funds, as a lot of student organizations do rely on food funding. However, the data suggests from last year that that didn't actually really reduce any of the spending that we had within the programming category. And so in order to reduce the redundancy and red tape and make everyone's lives a lot easier, we decided to just remove that cap altogether while keeping the programming cap as it is.
Okay, great, thank you. And then I have one more question. There was a mention on how there would be no risk to public safety. How the student works through that?
Yeah, so actually it makes our lives a lot easier. The new Triton reservation system was launched recently. With T-Res, USEN put a new system in that actually marks it, whether it's an event for public safety or not. There's actually a box you can click as a student organization. USEN also is not fooled by people who may just not put that. USEN does meet with those student organizations and assess with risk safety. The third check and balance for that is the organizations, you have to go through finance committee just to have this approved. So senators there can also make their best judgment on whether this is a public safety hazard or not. The most important thing with this policy as it opens to attendees is obviously I want to generate revenue for this association. I want to give student orgs breathing room in the future, but I also want to impact our UCSD students better than we have before. And I think keeping safety as a primary mindset with this new policy is very important in doing that.
Great, thank you.
Senator Elmore, you recognized.
First of all, thank you for the presentation and for the effort you put into being transparent with this funding guide. I was wondering, since this is new for senators, which is auditing general events, how would we go about doing this?
Yeah, so my office is gonna roll out a new way to do auditing in the future. We're gonna have a Google form that's sent out. As of right now, we have an attendance Google form. We are using a code system that actually just tells you what work events are per day, resets at midnight. We're gonna make basically an identical form, but it's for senators. It's for senators to go, hey, I attended this event on this day, I'm filling it out on this day. This is what I noticed, this is what I kind of noticed that might be negative or positive, if I had a great time, and it seems like all the food and items are being dispersed. And there's an attendance hit, like the attendance is there. then that's kind of the thing we want them to do. This is really important for senators to go to these events if they want to, and see like, well, the funding's not being dispersed and this event is not hitting the quotas. So then our office can hold ourselves responsible that we did not do enough due diligence in making sure that this event was funded equitably.
Thank you.
Anyone else have questions for any friends? Go ahead, Senator Kim, and then Katrina.
Perfect. Thank you for all your effort and all your slack and like how long it was and for you to try to streamline the process. I have two questions. The first one was, you mentioned that instead of like each organization going to finance committee like individually now, like I'm assuming your staff is gonna go over and then you guys go. Is it like after before like all of the proposals you guys are gonna present them, or how does that work?
Yeah, so this is something I'm really excited about because I want to save everyone's time. So our office is gonna basically compile all this presentation. There's two things we want to do in that. We want to end it week 4. Week 5, our office is actually gonna schedule one-on-ones with these organizations who are requesting their maximums to see if maybe we can actually, as an office, consult them and reduce some of their spending. That way we can work directly with them without them going into the finance committee, wasting their time and then being rejected. It is important for us to try to do some of that preliminary work there. I think in the week 6 finance meeting, we'd probably be presenting all this data. We'd be trying to go through as much as possible. I would like to say that also the nicest thing with this is by removing the food caps and removing the performance caps, the amount of maximum appeals we'll be getting for the year is so much lower. And so life maximums as well. But we'll be going through that. And then on week 6, finance committee will be making a vote on some of these. If there is not a unanimous approval for a vote, we'll be asking boards to then sign up for the next finance committee meeting, just to come in for 5 minutes to answer questions.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I remember last year during finance committees, it was quite time consuming, but, and then my second one is about.
Sorry, that's time. Is there a motion to extend the Q&A session and by how many minutes? You can speak up. You just speak up. It's fine.
I move to extend the question period by 5 minutes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Go ahead, Senator Kim.
Okay, so I have a public, policy, so then do they just like present to the Senate, or would that go through you as well, being like, we have this many undergrads expected and also like.
Yeah, I will say that, so as an office, while this policy is there, it's not gonna be deployed till winter. And so the idea right now is to have the same process of them going through. I would strongly encourage finance committee in these sessions to maybe encourage these boards to come the next week. As an open public policy, while it generates revenue for the association, I want to be very critical of these appeals. I think we should be, as much as a support student organization, we have to be very critical in the way they open these events to the public. And so we'll be doing it like that as well. But with that being said, we have to have a lot of documentation as we consult with them. And so that means like, what's the prior impact of these events? How are they managed to impact in the future? What is the event going to bring to the UC San Diego community? What are they going to do for undergraduate students? Because the biggest focus of this is like, how are they actually impacting undergrads? And so we'll be evaluating all that and getting that in the Senate as well.
Go ahead, Senator Rodriguez, you're recognized.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Just jumping off of the, I think, open to the public, I know for a lot of student org, it's something new and something new to navigate. So I was just wondering what kind of direction will they have with it, open to the public? And what kind of resources will they need for like security and making sure items aren't being voted that aren't supposed to be, stuff like that?
That's a wonderful question. So we also work with USEN, CSI, and SLPO basically weekly on appeals. And so we constantly vet what is happening, what these appeals are. There's another thing we'll be going directly through CSI and SLPO, and they are, as a pro staff team, very, very good at assessing what might be a bad call. So I think that is a really great thing we'll be doing with SLPO and CSI as well. But also our office plans on meeting individually with any work that's going to do this, both to tell them how they'll be doing this process. There are limitations to this, like you can't use a credit card payment, you have to be doing cash or checks if you're opening this public, or if you're using this policy for your event. And so we have to do all that, we have to work with the student organization, and we're fine doing that as an office. On top of that, we'll be working with USEN on security planning, like if you're bringing something you're not supposed to be in, we'll be working directly with them on making sure that does not happen. I'm actually, as an office as well, gonna be meeting with the campus security officer team as well, to see if we can maybe get some support from the CSO team on some of these events.
Thank you. I yield my time to the floor.
Thank you, Senator Rodriguez. Is there anyone else for Q&A? Go ahead, Senator, if you want to continue, you're recognized.
Hi, thank you so much for your presentation. I feel like it was very like descriptive and I was able to like get a better sense of idea But, I do wanna say that, yeah, like, this is one of the first things I've heard about, having, outside people come into these events and like we generate revenue, which I do think is a good idea. But I was wondering if you would consider like maybe have like giving these student orgs like a startup guide of like how to navigate platforms or like what access to security can they access within Houston already or like just like stuff like that. I don't know if that's something you'd be willing to consider.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. For our office this year, it's not all about funding is what we're trying to talk about. I think as an office, we need to do more about everything else, and that includes accessibility. Right now, accessibility to our appeals process and when we apply for funding, anything part of that is really bad. And so we need to work on accessibility. I think doing something like that is perfect for our office. We constantly try to train them as much as possible. When it comes to this guy, the same thing that's gonna be happening with the maximum is actually what we're gonna apply instead of just having them kind of go blindly into the process. We're gonna be providing them a guide for both the type of appeals. So for the open public, there'll be safety resources you can use. What do we expect from you? How does the payment work? For maximum appeals, it'll be if you're going to the maximum appeal, what is the fundraiser what is the fundraiser connections you have on campus? What sponsorship connections you have on campus? So they can reduce spending from association as well. Yeah.
I mean, thank you, I give my time to the board. Is there anyone else for Q&A? Okay, with that, thank you so much, AVP Collins. Moving on to office reports, senators, you have 6 minutes to update the floor with any office reports. Are there any senators with office reports? Go ahead, senators, they can be recognized 6 minutes.
Thank you. So yeah, this week, on Friday, I believe it's between 4 to 6 mainly, or starting at 4. We have the Warren Oktoberfest event. It's called Warren Oktoberfest. There's going to be a lot of different activities there. It's put on by our international student at large who is from Germany. And there's lots of different cool big ones. The thing where you hold the massive beer glass. I saw it in my apartment the other day. It's actually huge. And there's going to be lots of food and drinks that they're going to be mixing. So definitely feel free to show up to enjoy the event. Because yeah, who doesn't want free food and fun activities? Also, later tonight, I will be meeting with, unless anything has changed, I will be meeting with the AVP of Environmental Justice Affairs alongside some of the SSC members, Student Sustainability Collective, in order to discuss further next steps for how we can go about creating a sustainable action plan that is actually actionable. If any senators wish to join, it's going to get 8. So if you're staying or if you want me to make sure we can accommodate you on Zoom, please let me know. You can just slap me right now and I'll make sure to accommodate you. But yeah, that's all I have. Thank you very much and yield the rest of my time.
Okay, thank you. Any other AS senators? And I misspoke, it's 4 minutes. Go ahead, Senator Swan.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Just want to update this past weekend. Me, Ricardo, and a few other AS members, we were able to attend a UCSA board meeting in UC Irvine, and I was able to give a presentation on international student safety and provided recommendation, which is hopefully going to be taken by the rest of the UCs regarding how to advocate better for the rights of international students across the UCs. In addition, me and the rest of international student representatives from each UC campus are working on an action plan on an action advocacy plan regarding how to advocate for better tuition rights and also better resources and support for international students overall. So if any senators have any senators or anyone from the rest of AS have any ideas, thoughts or suggestions or want to get involved in some of these projects, let me know and we'll be happy to hear any suggestions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Senator Swan. Any other senators with updates? Go ahead, Senator Sophisti.
Hi, yes, so, me and Sabine have been, working closely with, the documentary student services, because, given right now, they are, so sorry. And these are the best support, but, basically, what they are looking towards, which will be presented possibly next week, if not the next, I'm still waiting to hear back, they are pretty busy right now. But, they are looking towards for funding for their guest food program. If you guys don't know, the guest food program is basically like, a basic need specifically tailored to undocumented students because they don't ask for like SSN or the work authorization, stuff, so it's easier for them to access, like, it's like EDT, y'all know about CalPERS. But, yes, they would talk a little bit about that and why they do need the funding, so we will be discussing about like next steps and, what we can do. So that there's like a fair transparency in there, so if any of y'all are interested in trying to like have an indication or just working with them, please feel free to slide me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Zapata Castillo. Any other senators with senator reports? Okay, with that, moving on to office reports of AS offices. Office of External Affairs, you have 6 minutes, and Vice President of External Affairs, Miranda, you're recognized.
Yeah, so just like Ara said, this past weekend, we were at UC Irvine for the UCSA board meeting. Where we talked about system-wide cuts to DEI, we had the opportunity to connect our international student representatives from each campus to the ISA. I'd also like to thank RF for representing our international population and also PPO Albanani for creating this space for student leaders like RF. For hiring, we had to extend 5 of my positions as they have not reached 3 applicants, and those should be closing tonight. My hiring committees are working hard already to set up my office for success, and I want to give out a special thanks to the dean and Tanya for the work that they're doing on my hiring committee. For event planning, the external local launch party will be this Friday at the College Terrace on the 5th floor. Please pull up and tell members of any boards you know to come talk to us about our office, UTSA, and how we can uplift their voices. For civic engagement, I'm working with Dr. Ashley Joseph to create our democracy action plan, working to get merch for Try and Vote, and I'm actively hiring my civic engagement director. But please tell anyone who's interested in like elections to apply, they close today. Tomorrow, I'll be meeting with the UC president, President Milliken, alongside all the EVPs, external vice presidents across the UC in San Francisco at the UCOP office. We're going to be talking about those funding cuts to DEI, the Trump admin, the release of students' private information, and transparency about decisions that are being made on students' behalf by UCOP. We don't assume we'll be receptive at all because he fought us to have this meeting, but everything's worth a shot. And then finally, for conferences, soon we'll be releasing applications for the Student of Color Conference. It'll be open to the entire student body. We'll be taking around 40-ish students, and we'll also be opening up positions for caucus facilitators in November. But if you guys know anybody who wants to connect with minority communities, build power, and organize, just let them know that that's about open up. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Vice President Miranda. If you have any questions, we have a question pad at the end that's allocated. Next up, CCMO, or actually, sorry, Vice President of Active Affairs, please, your arguments, 6 minutes.
All right, hello, everybody. Just to run through this for the meeting/discussion section, met with the UGC Council, which reports the various different academic programs such as critical gender studies programs and bioengineering. Discussed with Senator Satanian and ABPO student orgs, possibility of extension of the academic fund to cover a portion of funding for academic/free professional student orgs, which suck up a large chunk of the overall budget for funding for student orgs. For office projects, we just got some raw data from Spaces/ the bookstore, so I will be number crunching along with Senator Shonberry for a UC-wide Equipment contract. Looking to fill 2 student representative positions for the Extended Studies Committee and the Teaching and Learning Commons Senior Council. So if you guys are interested, please shoot me a Slack. Looking into official avenues we can use to get the NAR 135 study abroad to Israel removed via the Academic Senate or Undergraduate Affairs Council. Professional Schools Fair for upcoming events is on the 25th, library walk from 10 to 2 p.m. Come and say hi. If you guys want to go to grad school, you guys should volunteer because we'll look into the recruiters. Quarter office goals is related to the Floody Academic / Affiliate Fund, which I mentioned previously. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Vice President Cruz, CCMO Medellin, you're recognized 6 minutes.
Thank you, I'll keep mine brief as well. Just a couple of quick updates, so this week I had the Fall of Triton Night kickoff meeting, with, the Winters being like we did last year. I will not be planning it this year, but one of my, senior premier marketing specialists, Renee, since he will, so kind of excited to get back with this year. More details to come for extended involvement, as we grow to week 10. Additionally, I met with, our AS marketing team, to discuss more social media content. All family members should receive an email, requesting you all the forum, to collect that content so we can make social media posts and promote, who you all are and kind of what you all kind of do this year. And then additionally, I recently onboarded my senior communications officer, so it's kind of just start working with them. They're gonna like help me manage the whole office, so more to come from my office later in the year. And in terms of office projects, my staff hiring is open, so if you know anyone interested in marketing or outreach related roles, probably just kind of my way. Moreover, I'm working with the exec team, some pro staff related matters regarding budget. Probably have more of a concrete update for you all in the coming weeks. And lastly, I will be getting the ASMN programming calendar live later this week, hopefully. I'll be sending the AIA, regarding more brand policy related matters. But stay tuned for that. Essentially, the programming calendar centralizes our events, so that everyone's association knows what's going on, what events are happening, and we have kind of great overlap. Additionally, though, once our website is kind of revised, it'll also live on there. But yes, and then upcoming office events, I kind of talked about last week, but just we're gonna take a look at those. Any office roles this year and something. Updating that website has been a bit, let's say lacking for some time now. So hopefully we'll be revamping that this week or this year. That's it for me, I'll sit back to, Charlene. Or you.
Very good. Okay, thank you so much, CCMO Medellin. Moving on to question time, is there any member who has a question for any office?
I have a report.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you're good. 4 minutes or 6 minutes.
Oh, is it,
It's okay, it's okay. 6 minutes.
Yeah, so, I'll just quickly do a report. A lot of stuff going on, contemplation lounge work is almost done. Just incredibly thankful for everyone who came together. We had so many people coming to review from senators, APPs, DEC. With all that being said, we passed a resolution, we posted it, over 500 likes between the social media, the reel that we made, and then the actual post of it. We were told that we could present to UCAP, so we made it at like 2 AM the night before. We quickly made a presentation and we presented the next day at UCAP, and a lot of people really liked it. There were a couple of questions, but we had that, and I met with Associate Vice Chancellor Patricia Mojave, and we kind of discussed some behind the scenes stuff, and he's really pushing for us to get this contemplation lounge, and I think Allison Satterland, Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, also pushing for it, and also Dr. Atkins, came in and also talked to Sean Payne. So I really, honestly, it seems like we've almost gotten in the bag. I just need to write up I need to meet with John Payne, we're meeting, and then, yeah, and then get him to sign a verbal agreement that they will build a new space. It's probably gonna be in the old student health building, next to the library walk. And if he doesn't sign that, then we're just gonna continue to have UCAB, probably both will have it, and then, any other tactics I need to use to just get that there. And that's gonna be wonderful. That's gonna be like a full on like project that we've gotten through incredibly quick, and it's gonna have lasting effects, indefinitely unless there's no progress to make. But it's always gonna be there. So I'm super happy that that happened. Next we're working on an OSD work group. And I think what's been amazing about this contemplation lounge is just really like showed me that you can't just politely ask. I think throughout time, there's been a lot of politely asking at AS. You need to put stuff on the line. You need to use your leverage. You need to leverage your ground and your connections with the student body. you know, again, some of these administrators to actually make things happen. I think that's what I learned throughout this contemplation on process, and I sure as hell am ready to use that against OSD. So that's gonna be something super exciting. We're opening up an OSD work group, probably starting next week or after the budget. We need to see how the budget goes. So I'm just opening that up to whoever's interested in joining that work group. There's a lot of wonderful work that we can do. And I personally am so interested in it for my issues with OSD, and so many other people in our association. I also made another, sustainability action plan work group, since this sustainability action plan was taken off our last agenda. Drew, AVP Drew, and, Senator Sinjay and a bunch of other senators are working on kind of modifying it to make it a little bit more, up to date since it was presented so long ago. Also, we wrote a letter to UC President James Milliken, where I did in my capacity as the University of California co-chair, demanding that he meets with the University of California Student Body Presidents again. That's been a long-standing thing that Michael Drake, the previous president and president before him did. But Milliken has kind of stopped doing that. So as Ricardo mentioned earlier, UCSA also sent a letter. So hopefully we're gonna be getting those meetings reinstated, because it's so important when you have someone like President Milliken who's making decisions on behalf of students, that students are actually part of that decision. And that's so important for like this shared governance model that our university loves to flex. You know, it's not real shared governance unless students are actually in those rooms. So we sent that letter. A lot of the other student body presidents worked on that as well. And you're also planning a meeting with them. And then I'm also visiting Warren Council this Thursday. I'm super excited to visit them, say hi, and I'm kind of visiting the other college councils as well. The last thing I just want to quickly say is during cabinet today, I think near the end, we kind of agreed on a new system on how we're going to be giving these reports. And I think what we're going to do is, as you guys seen today, external affairs, academic affairs, communication kind of have made these really cute, like, I don't even know what they're called, like newsletters / like presentations for you guys to read. And so what I'm thinking is now, like, during assembly, mainly assembly, we will have all of the different offices. So like I have like 4 or 5 offices under me, Ricardo does, William he does. Having all of their reports kind of in one, so we just have like 6 big reports that include everyone, and so different people can talk. I think it's a wonderful way to organize things, and then we don't need to take up your guys' time during Senate meetings, and we can kind of give senators the stage to really give reports. I also don't want to like talk and brag about the office of the president when there's so many offices underneath me that are doing wonderful things as well. I think they should also have like an opportunity to be able to speak. So yeah, that's all for me. Thank you so much, Christopher Cranes, AVP Cranes, for presenting the student org funding guide. Super excited to get that approved. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, President Simpson, and then for me, from the Office of the EDP, first year transfer senator applications are closed, both of them had over 15+ applicants, so very good turnout. Thank you everyone for promoting. Campus-wide senator closed tonight, so there's still a lot of time to apply, so if you wanted to let any of your friends know, and all interviews will be conducted by Sunday, and an effort to have the senator onboarded by budget meeting week 5. But again, that's time. Sounds good. Okay, any other questions for Q&A, opening up for all offices? Okay, perfect. Since there's no unfinished business, I'm gonna move down to new business. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay, sorry, I skipped over. Moving on to reports of committee, finance committee. CFO Audrey, you're next.
So basically, we are now all set to present the exact budget in week 5. We are in all process of preparing the budget, and what I'm going to do is in week 4, I'll be presenting a proposed budget and a requested budget by all the AVPs and execs, so that way you can see a compare and contrast of how the funds are being used, if and how much funds are actually left with if requested by all the AVPs, and how much funds are left if I would propose my budget. So currently working on that, and all thanks to AVP Chris for presenting the funding guide. Hats off to all the efforts he has done. And currently for my office, I'm hiring finance analyst and chief of staff. I've sent out like updated rubrics and evaluation forms, to the hiring panel. And, the budget requests are due week 3, so all the AVPs and executives are meeting me in person to present the request, and that way I can analyze and also like understand the actual need of the request and allocate accordingly. And I also wanted to like let everyone know, we are all in this together, and like only way we could like lead and excel is by working in a team and like being very cooperative during the current situation. Yeah.
As for legislative committee, so I wanted to say big congratulations to Senator Kravitz, he was elected vice chair unanimously. And then we reviewed 2 items, that was the establishment of the performance standards as well as the revision to meetings and attendance. Both of those items are still under review. We moved to an open roll call vote for both. So we will present them next Senate meeting, but we're gonna be approving them by Friday, via Slack. Because edits are still being made across all teams. That was it from legislative committee. Are there any questions for any of the committees? Okay, moving on to unfinished business, since there's none, I'm gonna move on to new business. The first item on the new business is the election of the Senate Pro Tem 4, sponsored by the AS clerk. Sorry. Okay, is there a motion to adopt this item? I motion to adopt it. Okay. Okay, is there a second? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Miranda. You said our Chaudhry. Okay. So we will be electing our Senate Pro Tem 4. How this is gonna go is you can elect someone else and then they accept, or you can nominate yourself. Excuse me, you can nominate someone else and they accept, or you can nominate yourself. I'm gonna be keeping track after we close nomination period, then we're gonna have 30 seconds each for each person who's nominated to speak. And then afterwards, we'll be doing voting via Google form. Any senator is eligible to nominate themselves or others for Senate Pro Tem. Okay, I'm opening up the floor for nomination. Oh. Sorry.
Thank you. I would like to nominate Senator Satenge Warren for the president pro tem.
Senator Satenge, do you accept this nomination?
I accept, and thank you.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
I'll nominate Senator Chaudhry.
Senator Chaudhry, do you accept this nomination? I accept. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, with that, I'm gonna have Senator Satenge go first, just because that's the order of nomination. You have 30 seconds to give your speech.
Thank you. So over the first few weeks, I'm very glad that I've had an opportunity to really all, especially the campus finals that we can get so much time with beforehand. I hope that as Senate Pro Tem 4, I will be able to advance the agenda of this entire association, and then I will be able to serve every single senator equally without fear or favor. The role of the Senate Pro Tem 4 is a history one. Obviously, we know Trinidad did a great job previous year. I hope to follow his example to help with legislation especially, and also to help make sure that the functions and powers of the Senate are exercised efficiently, transparently, and with a good amount of accountability. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Chaudhry, you have 3 seconds to give your speech as well. Oh. William, you want to say something?
I kind of had a point of information, just last year, like 8 people ran, so it's kind of disappointing it's only 2, so is it too late for more people to like self-nominate or nominate other people, just because, I don't know, it feels a little bit like one or the other, when like last year, everyone and their moms were gonna like nominate, like, it was a little bit more fun.
Okay, I will open it up again. Is any other nominations? Anyone else? I nominate Art. Yes, Senator Rustin, do you accept this nomination?
I accept.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna add Senator Rustin off the speakers list. Right now, Senator Chaudhry,
Can I
I have a
nominate?
point of information.
Oh, no, can I nominate?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Can I nominate Senator Zapata Castillo?
Yes, Senator Zapata Castillo, you accept this nomination, I accept. Okay, amazing, so, oh, go ahead, Senator Judge. Can I nominate Senator Eric Bradley? Senator Yu? Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Senator Yu, do you accept this nomination? I accept this nomination. Okay. Anyone else? Go ahead, Senator Bradley. Can I nominate Senator Zay? Senator Asaki, do you accept this nomination?
I do not.
That's fine. Go ahead.
You know what, can I nominate Senator Johnson?
Senator Johnson, do you accept?
For your on, I accept.
Sounds good. Last call for nomination. I will do this. Okay, perfect. So with that, I'm gonna send, you have 30 seconds to give your speech.
Yeah, so, I just wanna say, I will be, of course, my first year, I'm super excited, and I will be attending all the meetings that are on my schedule. As well as I have read the Robert's rules and understand other proceedings and I've been attending meetings of the public. So I do understand how it is like with, the meeting. And I will try my best overall with my background in student organizations, as well as understanding and like public good presentations. And yeah, I think I will try my best and I have tapped in, so you guys will see me anyways, so. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, next I have Senator Ruslan, 30 seconds.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for nominating me, so to speak. A little bit of my experience, I did speech in debate for 8 years, not the best speaker, barely know this language, but I do my best to present to y'all. Did MUN for a bit, and again, it would be an amazing opportunity to try leading, to try managing, quote unquote managing and speaking in the Senate. I do understand Robert rules of order, but I'm still preliminary. So make whatever decision is best, and I hope at the end of the meeting goes well. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Zabati Castillo. Your next 30 seconds.
I just like William that I actually retract the nomination, but more so because I'm already an UNC in this association, and I do think that this is a good opportunity for other people to understand Robert's rule. So good luck and sorry.
Thank you. That's very respectful, mostly. Thank you. Senator Yu.
I'm gonna follow Senator colleagues here, but also retract. I forgot we had your speech and I don't want to speak. Great opportunity, again, also to learn about like rules of order, but also it's like, I don't know, it's just cool to be on the other side of it and like following discussions, making sure that we stay productive and on task. I think it's a great opportunity.
Thank you. Lastly, we have Senator Johnson.
Okay, first I wanna say thank you to my cousin Ricardo, I appreciate that. Really, to be honest, do I really know Robert's rule of order like that? Not really, but I just learned like, why do I even say this, like, go to the rule of order. Okay, so anyways, no, like, I could just type like, look, you know how you can put central F on the computer? I put a central F, I can type real fast, but anyways, just kidding, thank you guys, period, yes.
Thank you, Senator Johnson. So I want to confirm our list. So I have Senator Tawry, Senator Johnson, Senator Ruslan, and then Senator Zapangan. Okay, sounds good. So right now I'm sending over a Google form in the Senate Slack. If everyone could please vote. Your responses will only be viewed by me and Nicolette, and please vote for who you think would be the best Senate President. Thank you.
Point of information, like, just wondering, can you abstain or not? I'm just wondering.
But I'm gonna make an executive decision that you have to vote. Alright.
This is what's gonna happen, it's hard. What's here?
And then Sajid, Tanya, and Elizabeth, you guys are still good to go. I sent the link to the, settings class for that one too.
You sent me a picture from your.
Oh.
I thought they stood from. I said, whatever.
You walk in this room, I see. Yeah, I see. That, you go. I'll let you both know this is your representative if you want. Or you need to share a vote.
No, I'll give it.
Okay, give it this one. I'll take it as long, I think it's gonna be representative.
No, but.
I think you can still give it I'm waiting.
You know, where's the voting?
It's in the Senate.
Did she vote?
She wants, she votes.
Oh,
Oh, it's that. No, he left.
not that bad.
Yeah. Thanks.
Senator Wood, if you can thumbs up, I mean, sounds good. Can I please, wait, before we get a drum roll, I'd like to thank all the senators who nominated and then also accepted nominations. I think this is very brave feat to go up in front of all your peers, so I really want to commend everyone on that. I think it really shows that everyone's willing to take change and that things are coming this year for everyone here. With that, can I please get a drum roll? Your next Senate support is Daniel Satenge. And congratulations to all candidates as well. Okay, next we're moving on to action item B, setting onto UPTE letter of support, sponsored by Vice President of External Affairs Miranda. Is there a motion to adopt this action item?
Motion.
Motion, okay, motion, I'll second. Second, okay. Vice President External Affairs Miranda, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so this is a letter written by our disability justice officer at UCSA, and so they have a little letter that I'll read to you about this. So UPD, the University Professional and Technical Employees, is a union which is proud to represent over 20,000 healthcare, research, and technical employees across the UC system. Since June of last year, they've been bargaining in good faith with the UC to ensure a fair and beneficial contract for our workers that better serve our students and community. In their mission to center student and patient care, when striking, they are calling on organizations and students to show their support for the UC Counseling and Psychological Services CAP centers. The UC refuses to address the recruitment and retention at the centers, where more than 65% of CAP counselors have worked at UC for less than 5 years. These problems exacerbate the already growing mental health crisis among students who pay thousands in tuition to afford such services. In support of UPD and the thousands of UC students who deserve easy access to mental health, we ask that your organization sign our strike letter of support, which is linked over there, urging the UC to bargain with us in good faith to obtain a fair contract that will secure better conditions for CAP workers and in turn, the students they serve. So I'm just asking you guys if you'd like AS to sign on to this letter, and sign on to supporting UPD. Thank you.
Is there anyone else for discussion? Okay, Vice President, oh, sorry.
I don't know, maybe I'm just unable to find it, but if you're able to just emphasize the wording of the letters nowhere. Sorry, I just want to make sure. 1 second, let me find it.
So on the Google form that's there, it says, as students and community members at UC, we're calling on President Milliken to bargain with UPD in good faith. We believe a great show of his leadership and UC's commitment to patients, clients, students, and staff will be proposing a fair contract. We call on the chancellors to advocate for UC clinicians, researchers, technical workers, and staff members who make this great institution great by urging President Milliken to bargain with UPD in good faith and propose a fair contract. Every student, patient, client, and community member who steps on UC campuses should have access to the best care, education, and service possible.
Okay, are there any other questions or discussion? Yeah, go ahead, Senator.
Yeah, this is mostly a question for the BDA. We have a document on board. Is there a better formatted version? It would be a bit unprofessional to send it sort of, it almost looks like part of the Google form here. I didn't like it.
So it is a Google form, they're just getting organizations, they're not even gonna name us, they just wanna have a number of students who support them. And so through us, they'd be able to say 29,000 undergraduate students at UCSD are supporting UPD in our mission to have a better contract.
Yeah, so just confirm they'll be sending, they have their own like letterhead and.
They have their own letterhead, and they do that, yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Any other discussions? Okay, with that, Vice President Moran, you can produce your handbook.
We can do
Right,
it.
okay, sounds good, so please raise your placard if you agree on signing off with letters of support. Okay. Okay, with 22 voting members in support, it passes, so congratulations, we will sign off with letter. Thank you. Sorry, I'm gonna ask anyone against this. Sorry. Okay, any abstaining? Oh. Okay. 22, 0-0, pass. Congratulations, Vice President Miranda, thank you. Okay, moving on to action item C, updated AS budget guide sponsored by the Chief Financial Officer, Patra. Is there a motion for this?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, go ahead, Senator, or CFO, Patra, sorry.
So point of information, like how do I get it approved?
Are you looking to add something new onto it?
No.
It's approved. You can speak. Go ahead, CC Mommy, is it point of information?
Yes, if you're like an amendment to it, how does that work?
You can
Motion, second, and then discussion. So during the discussion, you would move for.
And then amendments to this.
Usually since it's a review. But. It depends if it's like they're changing, and like actually, if it's just like. Yeah.
Okay, so if you wanted to make an amendment, like that's friendly, so just like changing wording or something minor, that just needs to be motion second and then up for discussion, and then after that, simple majority. But if you wanted to change the link or change, something more major, that would be, it needs a motion second and then 2/3 majority approval for that. Did you want to make an amendment at all?
Yes, I'm gonna send the wording over in Slack, so you'll come look at it, but yes.
Okay, do you want to say your amendment?
Yeah. It's like, it has multiple parts to it, but I'll just say, propose amendment to modify the branding aspects of the funding guide. I'll talk it over anything.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second to this motion? Okay, second, I'm gonna open the floor to discussion. President Simpson, you're recognized. And then if anyone else has discussion, you can raise your placards, I'll put you on the speakers list. Go ahead.
I just want to confirm with CCMO and Ian, have you spoken with AVP Cranes just about these changes and like if so, were they all added because it's too late to add them to this, so you're adding them now, or
was there disagreement about adding it now that we got it now? I went to, but, yes, I spoke to about it, with the AEP, thumbs up with that. I didn't have a chance to review it, so that's my bad ahead of time, that's why I'm making that amendment now.
Any other discussion? And then CCMO, when you feel free to slack it over. Okay, I'm gonna have us know what needs to be changed, so. Okay, does everyone see it in the wording change? And the slide is in the Senate slide? Okay, so we're gonna need 2/3 majority, so please raise your placards if you are okay with this amendment of the revised language to the digital marketing.
Point of information, is there discussion before?
Yeah, I did do our discussion, said currently, so if you want to stay.
Okay.
Did you want to say anything before we vote?
No, I was just checking, I thought we.
Okay, we did, but yeah. Anything else? Go ahead, Senator Helton.
Just, is this revision in compliance with the communication policies, like that, only have 50% on? Oh, yeah, I yield my time to the, CCMO.
Yeah, so our policies don't say anything about kind of this aspect, so, yes, during compliance, the new language that I proposed before wasn't, so that's why I'm proposing it for the 50% is fine. Okay.
Perfect, anyone else for discussion? Okay, so, please raise your placard if you are for this amendment. And we're going to count for this one. Okay, thank you. We can put your placards down. Please raise your placard if you're against. Okay, and then please raise your placards if you sustain, excuse me, abstain. Okay, with 23 to 0, this amendment passes, so we will be adding it onto the action items B. With that, CFO Patrick, the floor is still yours.
So I just wanted to give a quick note regarding the updated funding guide. I wanted to thank everyone who's taken this time to review the document ahead of today's meeting. And again, the purpose behind this update was to make the funding process more efficient and transparent and accessible for both student organizations and finance committee. A lot of work was also gone into cleaning up redundant sections, clarifying appeal processes and improving accountability measures, and all spoken by ABM this today and today's special presentation already. With that being said, we're making an amendment to pass this.
Sorry, what are you asking?
Can you make an amendment to pass the
Are we voting on something?
I got the funding guide and to.
Oh, you want to vote on the funding guide?
That'd be a common question.
So. Yes, but you'd still have to vote if we're calling a question, you have to vote to call a question and then.
If no one else speaks, we go, if no one else speaks, we go automatically.
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah, so this is fine.
So it's already up for approval right now.
So you might have the.
Anyone else want to speak before we call the vote for the approval of the funding guide? Senator Finnegan, you're gonna, or no? Okay, please, sorry, I thought you were moving on. Okay, with that, we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna do roll call vote to approve action item C, Associate Students Funding Guide sponsored by Chief Financial Officer Patra. Clerk, if we can have a roll call vote.
Sarah Finnegan,
Yes.
Velasco Chattery,
Yes.
Tanya Pola,
Yes.
Aaron Ramos,
Yeah.
Francisco Becerra,
Yes.
Elizabeth Diaz. Lee Karani. Aaron Franklin,
Yes.
Donna Ortiz,
Yeah.
Christina Rodriguez,
Yes.
Rachel Alberto. Yes. Katie E. Johnson. Yes. Sabina Petir,
Yes.
Melissa Fonte Castillo,
Yes.
Raul Corey,
Yes.
Daniel Sapavia,
Yes.
Lin Ju Kim,
Yes.
Save Azal,
Yes.
Sam Holden,
Yes.
Erica Yu,
Yes.
John Kravitz,
Yes.
William Simpson,
Yes.
Nico Cruz,
Yes.
Ricardo Miranda,
Yes.
Shubham Patrick,
Yes.
Dale Benoni,
Yes.
William McGee.
Yeah.
I mean, with 25-0, this action passes. Congratulations, the funding guide is approved. I think moving on to announcements, are there any announcements? Go ahead, Vice President Miranda.
Just a final reminder that the external local launch party is this Friday at the Six College Terrace on the fifth floor. We're gonna have free food, like I hope you show up and bring any orgs that you are a part of as well. Thank you.
Nicolette, you're recognized.
I said it, really quickly want to thank everyone who stays and helps clean up after our meetings. And want to encourage everyone to put, those who are putting the microphones on the carts, it's 3 by 3. So, we've gotten feedback from University Center that they can put away a little haphazardly, and we really need to protect this equipment because it was very expensive for our association. So again, thank you so much for your help. And if we could all just commit to being careful with the equipment, that would be lovely. And again, I'm available to meet if you all have ideas for a senator project, if you want to know how to get involved throughout campus or meet with certain administrators, please hop on the calendar and let's meet. Thank you.
Vice President, please recognize.
Just a quick reminder, if you guys are serving as a student representative on an academic committee, if you guys could please send me a report following your guys' meetings so that I can just compile that information and present to the rest of the Senate. Please and thank you. The details are in Slack. I can resend them.
Thank you, Senator, for making your request. Did you have, or the senators of the COE?
What was the question for Nicolette? Did you still want us to take out the batteries or do we,
Sure, yeah, the batteries on the back step. And then from me, all senators, you should be onboarded, hired, and then getting paid. Please check UC Path for paychecks. If you haven't been getting paid or something is wrong with it, there is unfortunately no back pay. But please, come to me or Nicolette and we'll help you get situated with your pay situation. But everyone should be getting paid by now. Okay, any other announcements? Okay, with that, we can conduct the final roll call.
Kara Finnegan. Here. Waz Motari. Here. Connie Pula.
Here.
Aaron Ramos. Here. Francisco Becerra.
Here.
Elizabeth Villa.
Here.
Lee Harani. Ara Budlin.
Here.
Donna Ortiz. Here. Christina Rodriguez.
Roger that.
Rachel Alarcon. Here. Katie E. Johnson. Here. Cynthia here.
Here.
Nelly Zapata Castillo.
Good night.
Faisal Corey.
Good night, y'all.
Daniel Satang.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Jesse Wu. Here.
Here.
Minju Kim. Good night. Zeta Zong. Sam Halvin.
Thank you.
Eric Peel. Jonah Kravitz.
Here.
William Simpson.
Good night.
Nina Wood. Here. Nico Cruz.
See ya.
Ricardo Miranda.
Good night.
Shubham Patrick.
Good night.
Dale Benoni.
Cheers.
William McGee.
Good night.
Okay, with that, I adjourn this meeting at 7:37 p.m.
Daniel.